Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Stay tuned for conversation and information from her special guest. Now sit back and relax and enjoy Real Talk with Cindy Barber.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Cindy Barber. So excited to be here on tonight. I pray you had a blessed day, a blessed weekend. Please let me know what city and state that you are joining us from. Good evening, my sister, Prophet Stacy Bent. Also, Brenda Hurst from Philadelphia. Thank you so much for joining. And as you're coming on, please share and let others know that we are here tonight. We are here tonight, and my guest is here. I'm so excited to have him with me on tonight. Please share and let everybody know that we're on. I praise God for what he's doing and what he's doing with so many. Tonight, Real Talk is being sponsored by Designs Studio. Her name is Cassandra Gaynor. And please, if you need flyers, videos, or anything, please contact her. Her information is on the screen. It's Designs Studio. Judith Cassandra Gaynor. Please get in touch with her and let her know that you're interested, and she will talk with you and go over some things. She works a lot with churches, and she helps pastors and artists, musicians. So please get in touch with her. But tonight, Real Talk is being sponsored by Design Studio. Also, if you have an event and you'd like for me to advertise, please send me an email to mscindybarber@gmail.com, or you can inbox me and I will get back in touch with you. But if you have an event that you would like me to advertise on Real Talk, please feel free to contact me. Please let others know that we're here. God bless you, Pastor Lois Alexander. God bless you. Good evening from Ewing, New Jersey. So honored to have you with me on tonight. Please let others know that we are here. I see you coming on. And let me know, even if it's another country. I know sometimes I have people watching from Africa and Jamaica. Please let me know if you're on tonight. Music playing in the background is by Chicago Mass Choir. It's a phenomenal CD. And this song is called Take Me Back. Please come on in. So excited to be on with you on tonight. God bless everyone. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Those that are watching on YouTube, welcome. Welcome. Those that are watching on YouTube. Good evening, Apostle Johnny Wilson from Hartford, Connecticut. God bless you. So honored to have you with me tonight, Apostle. And I'm going to get you on here soon. God bless you, Lynn, from Ardmore, Pennsylvania. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you, everyone that's coming on, taking care of a little business here before we get started. And also, please sign up for my YouTube channel, which is Cindy R. Barber on YouTube. Also, if you'd like to be a blessing to Real Talk, my Cash App information, I'm going to post it right now, will be on the screen. So if you'd like to be a part, would like to sow a seed into Real Talk will be hitting the road next year. My Cash App information is at the bottom of the screen, $ Cindy's Keys, or paypal.me/Cindy Barber. And I thank so many of you that have been a blessing to me financially. Okay. Also, if there's anyone that's interested in working with me with Real Talk, please inbox me or send me an email to MissCindyBarber@gmail.com. If you're interested in working with me with Real Talk, please contact me. Well, we're going to get started. I'm going to bring my guest on. And here he is, Bishop Charles Lyles. God bless you, Bishop.
God bless you, woman of God. It's a blessing to be connected with you tonight.
I'm honored to be connected with you. You are a busy, busy pastor, and that's a good thing.
I wonder.
You say you wonder, but I'm so excited to have you with me tonight. And also your wife, well, she's not on, but I'm not sure if she's watching us tonight, Dr. Diana Lyles, who I really enjoy her ministry. And I thank God for her and both of your ministry. I just enjoy your music as well as her with her preaching and you with your preaching. God is really, really good.
Thank you.
I want to get started, Bishop, with asking you, how did you get started with music?
Wow. My mother had me in church my entire, when I was in her stomach, and when I came out of her stomach, I was in church every Sunday.
Wow.
Macedonia United Methodist Church in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And so I would come home at like when I was 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I would go home and try to play the hymns and the music that I heard in the service. And so at 4 years old, my sister and I started taking lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the start of me getting into music. And it was a trip, because I always wanted to. I was a play by ear person.
Yeah.
But I was learning music at the same time. My sister was always faithful to her lessons from week to week. And if my teacher were to play what my lesson was, I would memorize it. And I would go back to our lessons playing what I heard her play, rather than at home all week studying the music.
Right.
So, of course, she caught on to it, you know.
Right.
But I did the best I could to do what I was supposed to do.
Wow. So when did you begin playing in church? What age were you when you started playing in church?
I think maybe 12.
Okay.
Anywhere from 10 to 12, even though I would, after service, I would always play. um, the church that I was in, they had a reed pump organ, and nobody ever played
Oh,
it. So I would
yeah.
go over to it after church and play it, and
Mm-hmm.
just enjoying the
Wow.
music. The piano was the only instrument the church had at that time. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I would play whenever they needed me to play.
Right.
Um,
Right.
when when they would do special things, I
Mm-hmm.
I would play. But basically, I was not the church organist at that time.
Oh, okay.
And at
Mm-hmm.
16 years old,
Mm-hmm.
I was introduced to Bishop Boldware from Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and he started a church in Ocean City.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Kojic church.
Okay.
So prior to uh, playing at that church,
Mm-hmm.
I had started playing gospel music. I was learning gospel music, and I had a teacher in high school that helped me to write down music
Mm-hmm.
on music score, the
Wow.
songs that I was writing at that time.
Really?
Yeah, he was tremendous, Mr. Benzon. He
Mm-hmm.
he really supported what I was doing.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And now, how old were you when you started playing for choirs?
Well, let me go back a little bit, because when I was 12 years old, I
Mm-hmm.
was still taking lessons, but we had started taking lessons when I was 4 with our pastor's wife, uh,
Okay.
Mrs. Perry in Pleasantville,
Mm-hmm.
New Jersey. And at when I was 12, by the time I was 10, 11, 12, we had stopped taking lessons from her, and we were going to a music school, Jack
Oh.
Jack Lewis Music shop
Uh-huh.
and school in
Mm-hmm.
Ocean City. So there were other children, other young people,
Mm-hmm.
other teenagers on in his classes as well. I
Mm-hmm.
met some friends, some guys from Summers Point, New Jersey. They liked what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I became part of their group. And
Really?
we were called the Stardusters. So
Mm-hmm.
we were playing all kinds of music. No
Mm-hmm.
gospel music. We were playing all kinds of music, and I was 12 years old, and
Uh-huh.
I played with them until I was like 16. Uh, so
Okay.
and we played for weddings and
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of functions, and
Right.
I was doing. I was exposed to that kind of music
Mm-hmm.
at that time. And when
Mm-hmm.
I was 16, my pastor at the time, Bishop Arthur Lee Hull,
Mm-hmm.
preached so strong about us giving our talents to God that I stopped playing in the band, and I played totally for the church, because he became the pastor of the church,
Oh, okay.
the Kojic church. So
Mm-hmm.
then at 16,
Mm-hmm.
prior to becoming part of the caravan,
Mm-hmm.
Reverend Howard was coming to our services.
Mm-hmm.
So when we when he would come, he would sing, and then we would sing, and then he said, "I'm starting a group,"
Mm-hmm.
and they sent me a letter inviting me to come.
Mm.
Now at 16, I still didn't have a license, so I still had to be driven to
Right.
Atlantic City for the rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a choir at the church in Ocean
Mm-hmm.
City. So when the caravan started, we were 5 different groups, and
Wow.
that's why we were called the caravan, because we were a caravan of choirs and groups.
Oh,
And so my
okay.
group was called the Kojic Ensemble,
Uh-huh.
and they became a part of the caravan, John Howard
Wow.
Gospel Caravan. And
Yes.
so we would do concerts with
Mm-hmm.
all the groups, and at the end of the concerts, we would make a mass choir.
Mm-hmm.
So mass choirs became popular. This was the late 60s,
Mm-hmm.
68,
Wow.
69,
Mm-hmm.
and choirs were becoming popular. So we decided, well, let's disband the groups. Well, not disband them, but we would go and do our own thing. But
Yeah.
the John Howard's Gospel Caravan became a choir. And we were getting people to join the choir from all over South Jersey, as far as Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And so at one time we had like 125 members of the choir. And it was crazy because we're all teenagers.
Yes.
So we to get to places, we drove our cars.
Right.
And it would be like 10 to 12 cars.
Yeah.
Going to these churches and concerts. And because there was like so many of us, a lot of the churches we went to, we were like most of the church.
Yeah.
Half the church was us.
Right.
And so that's how that all started for
wow.
Me. Yeah.
That is amazing. And with that name Caravan, that I see, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That really is amazing. So let's talk about your church.
Okay.
When did you begin pastoring? And the call, because I know you were a gospel artist, because you traveled a lot as well.
Yes.
Because you've even traveled overseas as well too.
I've been going overseas since 1994.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's a whole nother chapter.
Yeah.
How that started. But I started our church in 1981. I had gone through some changes with the church in Ocean City.
Okay.
And where the pastor left. And so I was like, what do I do now? So I started playing for Second Baptist Church in Atlantic City at 19 years old. And that became my spiritual connection at that time, because I didn't have a church home. And that was scary, because I was 19 and I was playing for the senior choir. So big difference in ages,
Oh yes.
They were like my moms and grandmoms,
Right.
So
trying to teach them.
Yeah. So that was a great experience for me. And I was at Second Baptist until I was 29. But at 29, I'm starting getting this pull to do more than just play, and do more than just sing. There was this thing on me, and I suppose because I love people, I really felt like that we're missing some people that need to really know who God is. And so it was a press on me, and at 29, I decided, okay, Lord, if you want me to start a church, then you really have to make this clear to me, because I don't want to have my mind pulling on me to do that, and that's not you. And so I took a trip. I had a friend that had a tractor trailer, and he was driving out west every week. That was his job. He owned a tractor trailer. He would pick up his load and drive out to Chicago and to Wisconsin. And so I said, let me go with you this week.
Okay.
And so he wanted me to learn how to drive tractor trailers. So I said, okay, I'll go. And I drove too.
Really?
Yeah. And I said, I need to get away, because I need to hear God. I need to be away from my surroundings, so I can really determine what God is saying to me. So when I got back home is when I made the decision, okay, I'm going to start Victory Deliverance.
And that was in your late 20s.
I was getting ready to be 30 then.
Yeah.
And so we started the church in my basement. And I had Hammond organ in the basement. I had drums. I had electric piano. On one side of my basement, it was church. I could get about 75 people in my basement.
Wow.
And on the other side was my beauty parlor because I was a cosmetologist. And so
Really?
there were many times in the start of my church that I was doing hair. And the members at that time, the few that I had, they would be in the other side of the basement having church. And I would run over if I set a head of hair and put them under the dryer. Then I'd run over and do church.
Wow.
So it was one of those situations. But that's where we started.
Wow. And you were a cosmetologist.
Yes, I was at that time, my first wife and I had split up. But I was given my 3 children by the court.
Oh, okay.
Because they considered her a deserter at the time.
Oh, okay.
And so here I am trying to go to work, and I was working in other beauty parlors, and I was away from home. But I had 3 children that I needed to see what they were doing, send them to school, be there when they're coming home. And let me just open my shop at home, and that's how that happened.
Okay.
I've moved my work to my house because I wanted to be around when my kids were doing what they do as kids,
Yeah.
And, so that's how that happened. But so 12 years, I didn't have a wife. And so my wife now, Pastor Diana Lyles, came into my life during it was like the late 80s.
Okay.
Well, yeah, come to think, no, actually the late 70s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because my wife and I split up in 78. So it was maybe 79.
Okay.
I met Pastor Diana. And so to hear her tell it, I was running for 12 years, and then that finally worked out that we became husband and wife.
Wow.
In 1988.
Now, was she in ministry? Was she a minister when you met her?
Yes, she was.
She was. Okay.
And how I met her sisters and her, they had a group. They had a singing group.
Oh.
And we were in Mays Landing at the Caravan was singing, and her family was singing on the same gospel anniversary, somebody's group's anniversary, and that's how I met her. So she decided then that I was going to be her husband.
Wow.
Because she said I needed help because my suit had strings hanging off the cuffs. So she said to herself, "Oh, he needs me because he looked like he needs help."
Wow, that's amazing.
So I mean, it is because after the service was over, they had a little correlation afterward.
Yeah.
And we went downstairs, and I actually walked up to her and introduced myself, and that's where that whole thing started.
Wow. Pastor George Ward is on here.
Ah, that's my friend.
Yes.
That's another story too, because he came to Ocean City way back during that time when I was a teenager. Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was years ago.
Yeah.
My sister, Prophet Stacy, says, "All right, now she decided you would be her husband. Your help came."
Yes.
Now, how was the transition as a gospel artist and traveling with the caravans, and then settling down to pastor? What challenges did you have with doing that? From as a gospel artist and a phenomenal. If anybody doesn't know, he is a phenomenal organist and singer. So how was that transition and going into pastoring? And because I know now you still play.
Yes.
You still play. And I'm telling you, I was watching you until the church I was playing for, they started having services, in-person service. But on Sundays, I was watching you and I couldn't wait to hear you play.
God
The
bless
word was good too, but I couldn't wait to hear you play.
you.
So what was that like, transitioning as an artist and as a musician and going into pastoring and, having preaching engagements and then you had to sing and play. So how did you transition? What was that like?
Well, I never stopped anything. I mean, Caravan continued, and
Mhm.
many of the members of my church were Caravan members, and so to juggle dates and things, we just somehow we made it happen,
Mhm.
and neither one ever uh, was any stronger or any more important than the
Mhm.
other, because Reverend Howard was
Mhm.
pastoring also, and so
Right.
we had to be really sensitive to the needs of our positions as pastors
Yeah.
when it came to what we did with the choir. But
Right.
it worked out somehow. It worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we kept doing what we were doing, and out of the Caravan during those times, other pastors were born.
Yeah.
So we have, we were all doing church stuff, and that
Yeah.
required us to be careful that we didn't override our duties as pastors.
Mhm. Absolutely. Wow. Your wife is on.
Yes, I see.
Yeah, she's on. And I know you remember Joe Stevens.
Yes,
He's
yes,
he's on
long
he's on
time
YouTube.
friend. Yes,
Yes. And so transitioning like that, it was able to work out because you were able to, and as other pastors came on, they were able to work out too,
yes,
working out with the traveling.
yeah.
Yeah. Now,
And
what do you enjoy? Do you enjoy preaching, playing, or singing? Do you enjoy all of them, or is there one that stands out a little bit more than the other?
I enjoy pastoring,
Really?
and when I started my church, I said to the Lord, "Send me the people that nobody else wants."
Yeah.
And wow,
Mm. Yeah.
and He did that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I would say to Him, "Now, Lord, I remember what I said to you,
Mm-hmm.
but did you send me somebody else's people? Because some of these people that you sent me, I don't know if I think maybe you sent me too many of people that nobody wanted."
Right.
I mean, I go back a lot of times and think about
Mm-hmm.
some of the people that came to our ministry, and I was like, okay, so there must be a reason why you sent them to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now those same people
Mm-hmm.
have blossomed into tremendous assets, not just to the ministry, but to our community, to our
Yes.
society.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of broken hearts and minds and spirits
Mm-hmm.
got mended, and they became who God has created them to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my joy, is
Yes.
to see those lives blossom into tremendous people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What do you think has caused, or I'm finding that there's a lot of musicians that are now pastoring or
Mhm.
considering pastoring. What do you think has caused that, to take place to where they were musicians and some of them don't really play as much like they used to
Mhm.
because they're pastoring? But I noticed there are a lot of musicians that are now pastors, apostles, bishops.
Because we sat on the organ bench for many years
Mm-hmm.
and saw gaps in the ministries that we were playing for.
That's true.
And we saw things that were being missed by the pastors that we were playing for. And
Yeah.
that's not taking anything from them. They
Right.
were doing what God had given them to do.
Right.
But we saw the need to not lose the people that needed a certain kind of attention
Mm-hmm.
from leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what pushed me uh, to decide. okay, Lord, if you're calling me to do this, to do this, then I don't want to be like another person.
Yeah.
I don't want to copy what I've seen or what I've, yes, I might get some things from the people that I've played for or been around, but
Yeah.
then if you're calling me to do this, I have got to be who Charles is, and whatever you want from me to do in this field of ministry.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Now, where has your gift of playing and singing taken you? I know we were tapping into a little bit about overseas. Explain something, because I know you've been in a lot of plays.
Yes, and 1984. Um, yeah, Reverend James Brown wrote the play Yes, God is Real.
Yeah.
And he had me in mind when he started writing it.
Really?
Of course, I didn't know it.
Right.
Because he didn't approach me until he had finished it.
Wow.
He came to my house one day and wanted to talk to me about it. And we sat and talked. And at that time, I had not, in high school, I had done plays in high school. Me and my sister, we always, whatever play was coming through the school, we got on it and we did it. But it was something that he saw in me that caused him to write this play. And he felt like I was the right character for the leading role in the play. And then he put together people that I had been working with and choir members from the caravan. We were all part of that. And so it launched me into an acting career. And I got in trouble. I'm gonna tell you this side of it. I got in trouble with my bishop at that time. My bishop was at that time Bishop Ralph Donnie Graves from North Carolina, and he sent some scouts out from North Carolina to see what I was doing, because they called us the liberal church anyway. But so when they reported back to the board, presbytery, the question they had for me, and at that convocation, they sat me at a table, all the board members sitting in front of me, and I'm sitting there by myself they want me to explain, am I going to pastor or be in drama? This is how they approached it. And I said to them, well, now, do you all have jobs? And they said, yes. I said, so your jobs are probably 36, 40 hours a week jobs, right?
Right.
Yes. I said, well, me being in drama is my job right now, but it's also ministry.
Yeah.
And I work 4 hours on Saturday. And I'm making probably more money than you all are making, but that's not the thing I'm trying to get over. What I'm trying to make you understand is that my job is ministry.
Right.
And you're looking at it as if it's a worldly thing, but we have gotten testimonies even from hardcore drug dealers that have stopped selling drugs behind the play Yes, God is Real.
Wow.
We've had people come to us and say, I used to be a streetwalker. I don't do it anymore because I have been really turned around because of what that message was in the play.
Yes.
So after I said all that, they didn't bother me no more.
Yeah. Right.
But it was something different, I suppose, than usual for pastors to do those kinds of things.
Yes.
But it was effective. It was effective. And I have people now these days still coming to me. I used to come. They say I came to the play 4 times. I've been watching you, and I said, and so I say to them, "What did you get from it?" And when they start telling me their testimonies, I feel like running around, and just praising God, because that's what Reverend Brown wrote the play for. That
Right.
it changed lives.
Mm-hmm.
Our drunk in the play was Bill Green.
Mm-hmm.
He became a pastor.
Really?
Started preaching and became a pastor
Mm-hmm.
because of the play.
Mm-hmm.
And so it
Yeah.
accomplished what it was set to do.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he knew who he was getting to be a part of that play.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
He really
knew who he
prayed
was
and
getting.
asked God to send the people that he needed for the play. And Betty Graves Reynolds, who was Mama Jones in the play,
Uh-huh.
it was just tremendous. We used to
Mm-hmm.
get caught up while we were doing the performance,
Mm-hmm.
because it was so effective even for us to be
Right.
delivering that message.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pastor Alexander said, by the grace of God, you've orchestrated well the music, message, and mission in ministry.
Thank you.
Yes, and Gerald Wesson, Gerald.
Yeah, I know Gerald.
He said was outside of the box.
Yeah. He just preached Sunday somewhere.
Yeah, I saw some of it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And Prophet Stacy says you were your authentic self, not a copycat.
That's it.
And where else did you go overseas? What countries did you go to?
So I started in '94.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop Nathaniel Townsley.
Oh yeah.
From New York, from Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
He was my friend prior
Mm-hmm.
to me going, and I happened to be at his convocation that particular year in August, and so he's at the end of service. I was just saying, I'm glad to be here. I'm heading on home. He says, "Let me tell you something. They're looking for a co-star for the tour that I'm on this year, and I think you could be that person." And
Wow.
so he told me he said auditions is next week. You need to come back and go.
Mm-hmm.
So I did, and they hired me right there to go with Queen Esther Marrow on the Harlem Gospel Singers Tour. And so I didn't even have a passport at the time. And Bishop Townsley took us all to in New York. We went somewhere and got our passports, and that was my start. And so I've been going every year. I think I only took off maybe 2 years between 67 and 99. What am I saying? Now, 97 and 99 were the only 2 years I didn't go.
That you did not go.
Right. And what they had done, because they liked what I did, they made me the star of the show for the Harlem. We were B, the B tour, all they called us. And so of course I'm telling all my friends, you got to come get on this tour, right?
Right.
Everybody that I know, they could go on the tour, and we had a great time. It was a great experience for them, because a lot of them had never been overseas. But I leave this year in December.
Really?
Yeah, I'm with Gregory Kelly, Reverend Elder Gregory Kelly, and the Best of Harlem Gospel. Yeah, so my oldest daughter, she's on tour with us as well.
Oh, okay. Because she sings also.
Yeah, and she lives in Germany basically, and she's got her own band, and she's doing her thing over there in Germany. Anyway, so Germany, Austria, Switzerland, France, Czech Republic, Hungary, Italy, Portugal. Wow, we've done all of that.
Wow.
Amsterdam, yeah, yeah. So I've done a lot.
Yes, you have. Do you have a favorite country that you prefer more?
I think my favorite is probably Germany because we do all of Germany. And
Oh, okay.
you get to know Germany and you feel comfortable because I've learned about two words, I learned how to
Right.
count. I learned how to count the money in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
So
Right.
I'm comfortable there.
Mm-hmm.
But we were in Paris, France,
Mm-hmm.
uh, when I was with
Wow.
the other company. We
Mm-hmm.
we were there for an entire month.
Really?
Yeah. So I I
Wow.
I, I liked Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Back during that time, Paris, if you didn't speak the language right, they ignored you. So
Oh,
sometimes I would get in the taxi and tell the taxi where to take me, and I couldn't say it right, and
yeah.
they would open the door and tell me I had to get out.
Really?
So I walked several times
Wow.
while I was in Paris. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, it's such a different culture.
Yes.
And so you go in, you have to go in with an open mind because they don't do everything like we do it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think about everything like we think. But what has transpired for me is to see where they were when I started in 94,
Mm-hmm.
where they are now.
Mm.
There's so many people, their lives have been changed.
Yes.
And you see it now. You see it now. It to them in the beginning, it was probably just, oh, gospel entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's they're talking Jesus,
Yeah.
and that means a lot to me.
Yeah. It's a lot because I mean they really love gospel music over in the foreign countries.
Yes,
They really love it.
yes.
How many albums have you recorded?
Wow. This week, um, somebody dug up. I don't know who they were connected to, but
Uh-huh.
they said they found 245 records that the Caravan recorded. Now, I'm telling you now,
Wow.
that had to be 1970, maybe 69, 70.
Yeah, 45s.
45s, right?
Yes.
And they took a picture and sent them to me. And I was like, wow.
I know.
And then after that, we did our first Savoy recording,
Mm-hmm.
and Milton Bigham, pastor, was part of that. And
Mm-hmm.
we did that at Bishop Alvin Crone's church
Mm-hmm.
in the Bronx
Mm-hmm.
with Sim Wilson, who he was
Mm-hmm.
actually the person that had to record it, but we became his background, the Caravan. So,
Oh, right.
we did that, and then we were with Sweet Rain.
Yes.
Yeah, we did I Want to Be Holy project with them,
Yes.
and
That is on YouTube.
okay,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and and then I did with the New Jersey Mass live at the Ritz. I had a song on that.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So we've done a few more recordings. Just our
Mm-hmm.
last project we did just this year.
Oh, okay.
A song that I wrote in the '80s called "Free."
Mm-hmm.
We brought it back, recorded it, and then we did a live video on the Black Lives Matter Plaza in
Mm.
Atlantic City.
Really?
Yeah, and the mayor is a part of it as well. So and then we did another project after that.
Mm-hmm.
In May, we recorded a song that I wrote probably 20 years ago. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that no, it was more than that because I did it with Savannah Community Choir, Larry McDuffie,
Mm-hmm.
and the Savannah Community Choir. I did "People Get Ready." That was
Okay.
a song I wrote in the '70s,
Wow.
and we just brought it back,
Mm-hmm.
revamped it, and
Yeah.
that's going to be one of our projects we're releasing probably by the end of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's phenomenal. That's awesome. Really good. You really are busy. Staying busy.
Yes.
Now, as far as what advice could you give to up and coming musicians, and also those that have choirs or considering starting choirs? Because I know a lot of times with it's more praise and worship now going on in churches, and we need that praise and worship with the teams. And sometimes choirs have been forgotten, and a lot of people think that choirs are going away. I don't believe that. So what advice could you give to up and coming musicians as well as to choirs?
Well, I think we just flow. We should flow with the times. Because I told you how we started the caravan. We were different groups. But the time said it's time for choirs. And so we changed. We became a choir. I know what's going on as far as the pandemic, and it has caused us not to be close to each other physically. So you have a lot of choirs that because of that, they kind of, the church choirs don't do what they used to do.
Yeah.
And but we still want to sing.
Yeah.
We still the choir still wants to sing. And so I think we should not lose that.
That's right.
I really don't think we should lose that, because nothing like a choir. Yeah. Nothing like a gospel choir. Nothing can take their place. And I think it's something that we need to always consider, not letting that die.
That's right.
I really think we should never let that die.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I believe, because there are still choirs that are singing. There's some churches that have downsized as far as how many can sing, and and then you have some that's back in full force. So but I think we should not let the choir die, and I don't believe that it will die.
I trust you. I trust you for that too.
Yeah, I don't believe it's going to die. Yes. Now, what's next for Bishop Lyles, the pastor? Okay. And then what's next for Bishop Lyles, the artist?
Okay. So the big church, our big church, which we call Victory One, that was 1,000-seater sanctuary.
Oh, wow.
When Sandy came through back in, was that 2013? When did Sandy come through?
I think it was it 15?
It could have been.
May have been 15.
But what happened, our church was built in 1909. And even though it was a great structure, because of the Pacific Avenue side of our church, on the beach side, so it gets all of that wind and rain. It hits that side of the church. It actually destroyed our roof.
Oh.
And because of the size of the church, it was going to cost us like $100,000 to repair it. So what we did, we called a contractor in to tarp it. And he said that the tarp would last us at least 6 months. Well, the tarp only lasted a month. And it was raining in the church again. Wow. And so what we did, we just didn't have the money. Our insurance wouldn't pay to have it fixed.
Yeah.
We went to FEMA, we went to HUD, we went to several organizations that were helping people that were impacted by Sandy.
Yes.
They weren't helping what they call commercial or, it was residential. They would do something.
Right.
So they wouldn't help us, and we just didn't have the money to repair it. So we went into our chapel and started having our services in our chapel. And we were also sharing the chapel with a feeding program by one of our members, Gene Webster, who was feeding the homeless community of Atlantic City. And we had moved her in our church back in 1997. So that was continuing. So here we are in the chapel, having to put the tables up for the feeding, take the tables
Take
down,
them down.
set the chairs
Right.
up. You know, it was just
Yeah.
it was a lot.
A lot.
So,
Yeah.
so we ended up, Pastor Days from Second Baptist Church started a feeding the homeless a place for homeless people to get showered and get changed at
Mm-hmm.
a church that used to be the Allen Chapel AME Church of Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
He called me while I was in Europe and said, you know, I know you all are having some difficulties right now with
Mm-hmm.
trying to share the room with the feeding program. Why don't you come over to Allen Chapel, because we're not using the church part. We're only using the other part of the building. And
Mm.
so when I got home and went to look at it, I said, oh, this will work for us.
Yes.
So that's where we are now. We're
Okay.
there, but we're
Mm-hmm.
selling our big building. There are some
Okay.
contractors that want to come in and do something different with that corner. We don't
Oh,
know
okay.
we don't know whether they want to tear it down or whether they want to redo it.
Right.
We had a lot of offers, and so that's what we're going with now. But in
Mm-hmm.
the meantime, once we have sold Victory One, there's a church 2 blocks from where we were
Mm-hmm.
that was a Catholic church. It
Mm-hmm.
was a Black congregation Catholic church,
Mm.
and nice church.
Right.
But their membership went down so much that they felt they should join forces with another Catholic church in the city of Atlantic City. So they was sitting there, and nobody
Yeah.
went for it. So the
Mm-hmm.
feeding program that was at our church bought it and
Really?
and said to us, would you like to also be part of this, because we were with you so long? So the church is a separate building, the
Right.
rectory is a separate building, and
Okay.
the fellowship hall is a separate building.
Oh, okay.
There's 3 separate buildings, and it would not reflect a problem on our schedule to
Mm-hmm.
be there. And so when we moved out of the big building, we put our big organ there, and a lot of our other equipment is in there too. So once we get settled with the sale of the big church and all of that, we'll probably be there. It used to be
Wow.
St. Monica's in Atlantic City, but that's what's going to happen for us.
Yeah.
We're
That's great.
now
Wow.
now I'm at the age where
Mm-hmm.
I have to consider that I am not going to be kicking it this strong when I get to be 80.
Mm-hmm.
I might be doing a lot of waving and pushing other folks to go do what they got to do. But
Mm-hmm.
my son, my youngest son,
Mm-hmm.
Elder Farron Lyles, is in the Navy. He's actually like reserves now, but he's
Okay.
designed programs for the Navy for
Mm-hmm.
training their officers and what have you. So he's on a high position there, and they sent him out to Harrisburg, so he's in Harrisburg now. So
Oh,
he comes home every now and then, and I usually preach him right away, and
yeah.
and everybody loves him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great man of God, and very sensitive to the needs of people.
Mm-hmm.
That military training has made him take no nonsense, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So he's a great person, and that's what my wife and I would love for him to be the next person
Yeah.
take over our ministry now.
Wow.
So I'm asking everybody, pray for that, because we have to
Yes.
convince him to come back.
Right. Yeah.
But thank
Yeah.
God, we've got some wonderful children,
Yes.
and they
Mm-hmm.
they support our ministry.
Yes, which is good.
Yeah,
Basically, you are a busy, busy man, busy church with a vision,
yeah.
with a vision. But I want to thank you so much for being a part tonight. Finally was able to get you. And I'm glad I was able to get you before you go overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate you so much
Well,
that you would even ask me to come and be a part. This is great what you're doing, and I pray that God will keep you going as long as you feel like you want to do it, because it's it's a blessing to so many people. And
Yeah.
whatever you need God to do for you, I pray that He does it in miracle time, and that you don't
Yes.
have to go through any pressures or any struggles, that He'll just pour it out when you ask Him for it.
Yes, I
Amen.
received that, Bishop.
Amen.
Thank you so much, because I love what I do, and being able to bring people like you to share your heart with people. And I've had, since last year, I've had over 100 people that I have interviewed.
Wonderful.
And I have more to go. I have brand new people. This is like my new season.
Yes.
I took a break, during the summer, and then we started back up. So I thank you so much for being a part of Real Talk, and I hope to have you back on, again next year.
I would love to.
Yes, and also I would like to have your wife on, so I'll probably get both of you on at the same time.
Okay.
And I want to thank everyone for watching on tonight, for being a part. Those that will be watching the replay on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate everyone that has supported this program, and I appreciate everyone. I think some people are still commenting, Bishop.
Yes.
Pastor Alexander says, great interview.
Great. Thank you.
Tremendous. And people are commenting, and Brenda Hurst said, awesome interview.
Thank you.
We just thank you, Bishop, so much for being a part on tonight. And I want everyone to have a blessed week. We probably will not be on next week, but we will be coming back on the rest of November. I have some exciting guests that will be coming on for the rest of this year, which is not long. And then next year, we do it all over again. So I want to say good night to everyone.
God bless you.
And God bless you. And Bishop, you can hold on. I have my little closing that I'm going to close out with. So I can say good night to everyone. God bless.
Good night.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to Real Talk with Cindy Barber. We hope you have been informed and inspired by the conversation on this evening. You can contact Cindy Barber on Instagram at CindyRBarber04. You can email her at ms.cindybarber@gmail.com or the YouTube channel at Cindy R. Barber. You can also contact Cindy about having your event advertised on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Cindy looks forward to you joining her next week for another informative conversation right here on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Until then, have a great evening.